Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good to see you too.
Great. We keep interacting through our exchange of messages.
Yes. And now we see each other in person. So this is amazing. This is
Great.
amazing. Yes.
Welcome all of our great speakers. It is nice to see you. I'm YAVUZ ALTUN from Turkey. We are connecting. I think we have small technical issues they are trying to solve.
Great, Yavuz. Thank you for the great work that you're doing for the larger fraternity and society. This is much appreciated.
Yes, we are looking for helping someone who needs most. Maybe we need most because we are passing from very difficult time. We are losing many friends because of Corona, many relatives. I don't know what is the case in your countries.
It's not good.
Yes, so and things going worse and worse day by day. I hope it will be solved soon. How is it in India?
It's bad. I think the world over situation is not that great. And India being a large country with high population density, problem is there. And we are hoping that it gets sorted. So in some state, it is far more severe versus others, but the problem exists.
Especially older age, things much more difficult in Turkey. Right. We have too many.
Right. I think it is same world over, more or less, because this is a pandemic. A world over situation is more or less similar. Intensity might differ from one country to another, depending on its profile or geography. But more or less it is similar. Some people are have faced it earlier, but other people or countries are facing it now. So
there are lots of lockdowns in many countries, but even lockdowns doesn't solve anything.
Right.
We applied again and again, but things is not going all right.
Yes.
Maybe it's in
you are in Netherlands, right?
Yes, I'm in the Netherlands, and we are now actually into second lockdown right now. And we hope that by Christmas time, some of the measures will be relieved again, so that people can visit their loved ones. So that's what we are hoping for, and working really hard together as a society to get the numbers down. And I think what you said, Raj, is actually very true. In a lot of countries, it is the same situation. Some countries are worse than others, but we all need to, keep safe, keep the measures in mind, and help each other through this very difficult time.
How is your application of lockdown? 1 hour per day you can go out? How you can apply? How your government is applying?
We can actually, we have to work from home mainly, and that is what we all as a whole country have to do. We still can go out, do grocery shopping. And now a little bit measures have been relieved that we can go to the cinema again, or maybe to a theater, but then there are only maximum 30 people allowed in there. So it is very, a small number of people that is allowed. And as of December, it will be mandatory to wear a mask, throughout public places. Now it is only mandatory in the public transportation. And for the rest, it is not mandatory yet, only in some public spaces. But as of December, we have a new Corona law, which means that we have to wear a mask in more places than we do now.
We have to wear all the places masks from the beginning, but again, the cases is growing exponentially dramatically.
I think YAVUZ protocol and restrictions exist across the world. So depending on, impact, government will keep, changing their policies. to mitigate the risk. But I think for the first time we can see, whole world is suffering from the same problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and it is so important that we help. It also has, as strange as it sounds, it has some opportunities as well. So I think it is very important that we look at the possibilities and the chat, and that we still have, and the opportunities, and that way we can connect even more together now, even if it is online, and help each other through this difficult time.
True.
Absolutely.
What the human spirit is all about.
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you, dear esteemed Yavuz Altun. You started, and I am so happy to be together with all of you. Hello, dear TITIA. Hello, dear esteemed and all of you. So, it was a wonderful day yesterday. We had some technical issues, but our guests catch synergy. We made wonderful conversations and synergy together. I am sure we will have today also same. I want to start just one thing, to say one thing about my story, first of all. I was jobless a few years ago, and when I started LinkedIn, I met many great souls, many great leaders. There was one leader that he always helped us and supported us. My gratitude to my dear friend Amir Kayal. I invited him also, but maybe next events he will be available with us. I just want to share my gratitude to him because I had only 2,500 followers. He supported my all activities like he did many of us. He was always with us. He is always with us also. My endless gratitude to my dear friend Amir Kayal, first of all. And I learned from him to support our community, to be together, to catch synergy, not only for shares, but as human beings. I learned to be human, first of all. So, my dear friend, Sister TITIA, I owe you also to Amir. We will talk with you many things. But first of all, we will start with Mr. Yavuz, because Mr. Yavuz, ALTUN, and LORRAINE created wonderful initiative for job seekers and also HR recruiters, so that we will talk their stories first of all, then we will start with TITIA. And I am so happy to be together with all of you. And Mr. Yavuz, we will listen to you, but first of all, we will see the resume selector video, then we will talk. And I hope our video is ready to watch. Is it possible?
Yes.
Resume Selector is one of the most important and professional business platforms around the world, working on accurate and complex algorithm to provide the right opportunity for everyone and put the right person in the right place. We will enable candidates and companies to find the best career fit in order to reach financial prosperity for themselves, their customers, and their community. But Resume Selector is really different. That's because algorithms are the latest in the world and the most intelligent and sophisticated, which is based on the best and fastest matching between companies and employees by using big data. 24/7 communication tools and newsfeed to highlight your personal achievements unequivocally give you more room to communicate, as well as suggestions from Resume Selector Fit, all of which lead to an accurate and effective social networking with a business purpose. The unique score system gives a true assessment for each user by carefully analyzing their activity and interactions, like, dislike, education, work experience, posts, reviews, and companies they've worked for. This assessment and these elements help companies to test at high speed their compatibility with eligible candidates. Differentiate yourself in creating a professional film to represent your CV differently through the special techniques of Resume Selector, which is a unique movie creator. Book online business interviews without wasting your time, waiting, traveling, booking an office or a restaurant. Prepare your future interviews efficiently by following the most important international companies. Thus, you will read the articles, financial data, and benefit from the experiences of professionals who has worked there. Users can take advantage of the quick search feature to find work as quickly as possible. Job search can be done by locating and maps to suit the user's location. Entrepreneurs' children users can be monitored by their parents via the registered accounts to evaluate their work performance. Users can identify the companies and businesses that they dream of reaching around the world. With Resume Selector, that's possible, where it connects companies to the core competencies and values needed with people who dream of working with them around the world, thus making their dreams come true and provide the company with highly adequate, motivated employees. With Resume Selector, make the next right move to reach your dream job in the nearest future.
Yes, thank you very much for this presentation. Yesterday we talked about exponential growth strategy, how it can change and transform your life. As Abi said, growth for the sake of growth is the ideology of cancer cells. Only cancer cells can grow uncontrolled way. All we want to be grow, all we want to be richer, all we want to be more powerful in our personal and professional life. But the question is how we can grow in a balanced way with our environment together, how we can support each of us. As yesterday I said, I was following 3 dimensions. First, how setting goals can change and transform your life. Second, how to respond to change instead of growth. And the last one, how to transform from I statement to we statement. All we are family, all we are together, all we want to create something if it is possible. If we can gain and if we share what we gain, we can create also benefit for ourselves, also for our society. Today, most of the world, we need to create these values and principles together. I met with LORRAINE in Harvard Business School. We have same passion. We want to do a project together. It was her childhood dream. She will explain much more about Resume Selector than I can contribute. Yes, LORRAINE, you can continue.
Thank you very much. Yes, this is having worked for charities since I'm 14 years old. I've come to realize that one of the best things you can provide someone in needs is a job that respects his or herself, and enable him or her to express her or his talent, of course. So from there, the dream grew through the years. And when we met at Harvard with Mr. ALTUN, we were both passionate about social media and its impact on our society, especially minorities and younger generation. And at the end of our program, we were discussing that maybe the market, and the people are ready for the next generation of social media, a social media platform that would work on and improve privacy, security, fighting discrimination, and also fake news. So, and my major is HR analytics. It's all about the jobs. So what we have decided more than 2 years ago is to push forward LinkedIn as much as we can, with humility, of course, and we will do the same with Facebook, and we could merge them together. And this is how we have worked on state-of-the-art algorithm to analyze resume. And also, because of coronavirus, I don't know if you have encountered that, we don't meet new people, and there's not this random dinners, lunch, conference where we meet people and we can extend our network. And a bigger networks means bigger opportunities and also intellectual emulation. And so we have decided to create an algorithm that would do that for us. Sorry.
For example, yes. I have 5,000 employees in my company. I don't know if is there any discrimination or not. We have in our platform online interview, and employee can record what we talk. Because in UK, I applied like 20 years ago, I applied more than 100 jobs, and most of them they rejected. Some of them they said, I don't have UK degree. Some of them they said, I don't have enough experience. Some of them maybe because of discrimination of my nationality, my accent. I don't know the reason, but most of the places, even I am experiencing with my employee, we have discriminating in certain cases to someone else because of his appearance, or maybe he or she is obesity or anything. Mm-hmm. Just we want to stop this kind of discrimination in all over the world.
Exactly.
Because people, they are suffering too much to find a job. So when they go to job place, and they are suffering again because of discrimination. And this platform, we have interview, online interview, we have meeting, and we have an algorithm that who is ready to help someone next to him. Because someone next to us, we don't have any information if he needs something or not. And as I see today's world, all we are living alone. Yes, Lorraine, sorry for cutting your words.
Yeah, I completely agree. We have worked for years to fight discrimination, but also give the tools to avoid that. And absolutely, and to and even avoid discrimination in the way they can reach the companies. And also, I don't know if you remember, we have worked for it was the other aspect that we really worked on was the privacy.
Yes.
And it's very complicated when you the problem is when you register something on the server, it could never disappear. So you can have a strategy like Apple, you have all the information but you don't sell them, but you can use it inside the company or for different apps. but we wanted to push forward, as we said at the beginning of this presentation. But so we have called like even members of the state to understand how can we make information disappear from the platform, from even the server, so that people, young generation, minorities, you and me, actually, we can have this private conversation, private interviews, private meetings. This is a huge thing. And what they told us is the only way to erase information was to destroy the servers and to destroy physically. So the only solution that we found until now, but we will, is to not register information on the servers. Like the interviews are not registered, the meetings are not registered. We have the bare minimum about our people, our resume selector users, and each piece of information will be given back to the person in a different way with added value. And we have the resume, for example. We use the resume to analyze it, give it back to the person, and also to make a resume video. It's an innovation that is very.
Ahmet, Neslihan, let's see resume video. This is the video. It is automatically creating inside the platform when you log into your resume. When you input your resume, it is creating automatically your life story.
Yes.
According to your resume.
Or LinkedIn also.
Yes.
Integrate
with LinkedIn
profiles. And we can use our LinkedIn profiles or resume selector as a video of a personal introduction.
This is amazing. This is really unbelievable. This is the first time I heard about this.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Can
And
we show on the screen, Neslihan?
sorry?
Can we see on the screen this video, example video?
There.
Yes, this is the video. When you log in with your LinkedIn account, this video is creating automatically according to your resumes. This place which I wrote in London. So it is going to automatically place that you wrote, and it's bringing, taking less than a minute, your life story. Or users can log in and can try their life stories they can create. This is because GIRGIN is coming automatically as well. coming according to your skill set. If you have experience, coming automatically, your language, your school, sometimes your education. It is like 2 minutes, 3 minutes according to your resume. It's creating automatically, so people they can share anywhere they want.
Exactly. The main idea was first give the person a sense of pride of his or her accomplishment. People tend to be kind of have anxiety doing their resume, doing their and not be proud of it. It's never enough. It's not beyond. They feel that they're not good enough. And with this video, it's HD, and the impact on people is really this sense of pride, this sense of accomplishment. The second element is that you can send it, you can download it and send it to companies, so you can differentiate yourself from the other candidates. So,
and from the beginning, we agreed with Lorraine, more than 30% it will go to charities.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the beginning we decided it.
Yes.
And also we are using algorithm to find best company to the employee. For companies to have best employee, we are using algorithm to find change management, leadership, and teamwork skill sets to match employee with companies.
Yes, exactly. It works like a radar, and
yes,
it's very interesting. So to synthesize, so as you see, we have tried with all the information and the technical abilities that we had to really push forward the different aspects of LinkedIn and Facebook, and worked on privacy especially. And you will see when you go on resume sector, it's still a work in progress, and it will be for years. But you will see innovation here and there and it's really, the idea is for people to socialize and find their dream job, actually, and for companies to find their dream employees, their next employee of the month.
Yes, this is Lorraine, as she said, we are trying to help people to find their dream as much as possible. We want to serve to the people. The world is nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just we are coming and we will pass at the end of the day. So it is only we have how many people we helped. So this is the best platform we see to help people as much as possible. Thank you very much for listening.
Can I just add something? And yes, we have discussed also together, like, because when we say that 30% of the profit will go back to charities, and sometimes like the reaction is like a little bit of despise, like, what? Yeah, it's not. And because the best reward, and maybe you're going to laugh at me, but it's when someone has been hired in their dream job. I don't see you had this experience and you have people around you. It's just so beautiful. It's just so, there's this joy, this pride, this light. It's just really wonderful. And I think that's what Resume Selector is about. Do you agree, Yavuz?
Yes, thank you so much for your contributions and support. You helped too much to create this project. You spent too much time. Also, according to your experience, we designed everything. I hope and I think it will help too many people's life to get much more easy. Thank you so much, Lori.
Yes. And I am grateful for meeting with Mr. Yavuz over LinkedIn. He found me over LinkedIn. I know him, of course. He is great leader and he is great servant leader. He supports many of startups, many leaders, and also job seekers. I appreciate you, dear esteemed Yavuz Altun. And also, I'm so glad to meeting you. And I am grateful for Titia's leadership also. We met over LinkedIn with her.
Mrs. Neslihan, we forget to ask, is there any questions for resume selector to me or to Lorraine? We forgot to ask.
I have a quick question, Yavuz. This is Yavuz SILAY from NTR TV. In terms of geographical locations, do you have, like, are you stronger in Europe? Have you started from United States? Are you focusing Turkey? I mean, what are the major geographies are you initially targeting?
This is global project. We want to help to poor people, especially first, who needs jobs most. It could be India, it could be Africa, because people, they are much more suffering in these countries. So our main target is to help people who needs most, not Europe or US, even in US if they need most, or in Europe. This is our target. So at the end, of course, we want to help as many people as we can. But our main target to help who needs most, like this summit with Neslihan, our main objective was to help only one person who needs most. This is our case.
Excellent.
I don't know,
Thank
Lorraine,
you.
what she can contribute or what she can say.
For me, it's our main target was Africa at the beginning, and then Asia, and because I feel that, and then we can expand to Europe and America, but the website is already you can reach it from anywhere in the world, and it's already translated in Spanish, Arabic, in the main language, foreign languages. But I think we thought about Africa first and Asia.
That's amazing. We share the same vision because we are broadcasting to Africa in more than 40 countries and 900 million viewers. And this is an amazing news for me. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, Yavuz.
Thank you very much for your contributions to our summit. Thanks a lot.
I just want to say, Lorraine, being an HR professional, it was amazing to hear this. And, you know, I'm pretty excited to research more about it, to say the least. But thank you for bringing us up to speed on this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes. And can we keep going, Mr.
Yes.
Yavuz?
Please, Neslihan, thank you.
Okay. And, sorry, Titia, we are a little bit behind of our schedule, but
No problem.
we have to. We wanted to introduce resume selector first of all, because I'm sure many job seekers and also HR leaders are watching us, so that resume selector is important project for all of us. In fact, as entrepreneurs like you do, you work with many people, Titia, and I want to ask you first of all your leadership style, how you came nowadays, your soul journey, how you decided to your career, what affected you, and what is your breakthrough in your life you experienced, and how you overcame it.
Thank you so much, Nesli, and thank you, Mr. Yavuz Altun, for inviting me. It is a great honor to be here with all of you. And I think Resume Selector is a wonderful project. So I think it is very exciting. And what actually was a breakthrough for me, Nesli, many years I have been working with organizations here locally in the Netherlands where I am based. usually government organizations where I help them manage their teams. So I am hired for projects here. And like, I think now it is almost 3 years ago when I started my online journey, when I joined LinkedIn. And first of all, I was using LinkedIn as a online resume, really, just a resume, just noting where I worked and so on. But starting my journey there, I met a lot of wonderful people. One of them is Amar Kayal, who you also mentioned, a dear friend who has supported me so much. You have supported me very much, and I met a lot of wonderful people there. And then I noticed that LinkedIn is a great place to meet many new people and also to connect and to start new collaborations. So that is actually where 3 years ago my online journey started, and where I started to talk about my skills online as well and teaching them online as well. So I talk usually about leadership and helping people to develop their skills. And I think now when we are in this situation with COVID and the whole world is working from home, it is a great place to meet people online and to look at the opportunities that we all have. So now that my journey is already 3 years online, with the COVID crisis, I decided to also help people globally with their health, because I think for exponential growth, it is very important. We can talk about many things, but 2 very important things are our health and also communication, because we need to keep connecting with people. But when we start with health, I joined a wonderful company that is called Zinzino, which you can see right here behind me. And there we work globally to help people to improve their health. And we work actually with an omega-3 supplement. So I can show you. Here is a book about the omega-3 effect, which is very helpful and has a lot of knowledge about how to help you improve your immune system, also improve your brain function, improve your heart function. And it has many, many benefits. And so online, I really talk a lot about this to help a lot of people globally with their health. And every day, to make sure I stay healthy and that I am able to help more people, I take this. And this is balance oil. This is omega-3 supplements that I take, which really helps me to stay healthy. And this has helped me a lot. So if anyone wants to know more about this, they can just send me a message, and I'm very happy to educate them about this. And now to go on about communication, I think communication is another key to grow exponentially, to grow as a person and to grow as a leader, but also to grow your brand and your company. Because like when you are a leader, you directly impact the people that you help, the people that you work with. You are a role model, you know, you need to set the right example, and you influence the people by the way that you communicate. And it is very important that you treat people well, you treat them right, because if you do not do that, you have like bad communication, then that leads to a really low morale in your organization and like a high turnover. And a famous quote about this is that people do not leave bad jobs, they leave bad bosses. So I think now even more, your leadership style, it makes all the difference. Even when the world now is all working from home, it is now even more important that you communicate with each other to help each other and to be more patient with each other, you know. And as I said, working from home, it has some challenges, but it also has advantages, you know, and it has opportunities, you know. So for the environment, we have no more traffic jams. We have a better work-home balance because we don't need to commute every day anymore. We have a quiet work environment at home, at least when your kids are at school. You know, if they are running around at home, then it may be a little bit difficult. So I would say to everyone, it is like a COVID crisis. Of course it is, but stay positive and look for the opportunities. And that will really help you to grow your organization and to grow your brand. But there are some challenges that we need to look at. So for instance, when maybe you use Resume Selector and then you have your dream job, but then you are working from home. And basically you are starting your new job in an empty office because you have no colleagues there, right? Everyone is sitting from home. And how do you get to know your colleagues when everyone works from home? How do you get to know the company culture? And that is really a challenge that we have to look at, and that we really have to take into account, because, a famous quote by Simon Sinek about this is that everything that you want, we can have instantaneously. We can order pizza and it's right here. We can order some package from Amazon and it will be there the next day. But what we cannot order like that with an app is to build a relationship. Building a relationship, that takes time and that takes effort. And when everybody is sitting home, working from home, that takes even a more effort from us. Like in the normal situation, Neslie, and maybe you can also confirm that, my experience is that it takes 2 to 3 months when you start a new job to get to know your colleagues.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yes, 2 to 3 months, and that is without lockdowns, that is without viruses making this any harder. So imagine now in this situation, starting a new job, and you only see your colleagues behind the camera, So it really takes time and effort from everyone, not just your leader, but from all the team, to make someone feel welcome in a new team and to help someone to get to know the company culture and to get to know the way everyone works. And it is really important to make sure that you stay in touch with each other. So communication is a big key for this. And we need to do our best with the tools that we have. So we still have video conference calling. We can see each other from camera. We can call each other, and that is also a big advantage. What I have found in these days, and I'm very curious about your experiences, is that my inbox with emails is exploding, because everyone works from home and everyone is emailing each other. And so so managing your email for me is now a big part of the daily job, right? Sometimes I am a day off and then I return to the project the next day and suddenly I have over 100 emails extra. But then I have the whole day of video meetings planned. And so how do I manage that? But we all face this. So I think it's really important that we, when you're using email also, that you try to do that effectively and efficiently. So do not reply all the time, but really look at who needs this message. And is it necessary for that person to receive this message? Because when you have this big inbox with all these messages, sometimes you may miss an important message because you have too many emails and you don't have time to go through it. So I think we all need to really help each other to work as efficiently as possible. So I wanted to ask you, how is your experience in this? Do you experience the same thing? Mr. Yavuz, what is your experience?
Before, until last 3 years, I was trying to planning everything to reach, to follow. But the last 3 years, especially when your age is going older and older, so we are looking to life totally different way. Now, I am not restricted all the time for planning or to reply people. I am trying to give my best to reach to everyone as much as possible. So my heart is all right. If this is what in my hands, what I see this way, it is much more better, much more effective. Because when you act like a clock, it is not possible. or emotions is changing all the time. For example, now we can be happiest person in the world, and next time or after 1 minute, if we have bad news, our emotions could change totally.
Yes.
That's why I am not planning these things happen, because we don't know next second what will be happen to us or to our neighbors or to our relatives, to our family. This is the way that I am following. Thank you.
Neslie, what is your experience?
You know, I am not an entrepreneur. I am professional. I didn't set up any company. I worked like a consultant or professional or top level of leader in the organizations and also non-governmental organizations, so that it's important for each part because we are human beings beyond everything. So that if we want to catch synergy, if we want to add value to our communities, we have to learn to set up, establish environments, working environments. People work together, people catch synergy, team spirit, to encourage each one of us, and also to learn from each one of us. It is calling learning organization. We learn from each other. That's why leadership is important for all organizations, to add our employees, our professionals to our companies, management policies and regulations. Important, I think, because when we look at on the basis of exponential growth strategy, it adds effective leadership and caring leadership, like I love to say, servant leadership. We need more servant leaders in all communities. As you know me, and we know each other for a long time, it is important to care and to serve our communities.
Absolutely.
My point of view, yes. And
absolutely.
Yes. Also, you have wonderful children, TITIA.
Thank you.
Because you are sharing their stories with us. Yes. So, you are, as a parent and also leader, how you encourage youth and how you support them, their vision with your leadership style. And what is your message to all millennials who are watching us now?
Yes. Well, yes, I do support my children, and I talk about them on social media. So I have 6 children total. I have a combined family, and 2 of my daughters also are actually entrepreneurs, working with social media. One of is an influencer, one is a photographer company, and I really support them in this. Like some parents would maybe say, you go back to school or go find a desk job, or what I do, I really support them in their vision, because I think whatever work you do, it is really important that you do that with passion and love, because only then can you do that in your best way. And so that's what I really encourage for my children. Of course, they need to earn their own income, but do that with something that you love and that you like. And so the message for millennials is, I think the world has really changed, So in the old days where people were 40 years in the same organization until their retirement, that does not happen a lot anymore. That is only some people. many people now, they go from job to job. And I think what is really important to learn are skills. Learn social media skills, learn your digital skills, learn more languages, because then when you speak more languages, it is so easy to connect to other people. So for here, this beautiful conference, we are from Turkey, we are from the Netherlands, we are from India. And Lorraine, I don't know where you are from, maybe France, but I'm not sure.
Yes, Lorraine is living in France.
I thought so. I heard it from the accent. So we are not far from each other, Lorraine. Maybe we can meet someday. Yes. And it is wonderful to speak to many people and to connect to many people. And that's what I loved most about LinkedIn. So for all the millennials, make sure you learn your soft skills and more languages, social media skills, digital skills, and connect with people. Even when you're young, make a profile on LinkedIn and start connecting with people, because it is so important in your career that you have a network of great connections that resonate with you, and that you can help other people and that other people can help you. So I think those would be my tips for millennials. And it was wonderful what you said, Nestle, about having more servant leaders here, because I agree, that is very important. Because now in the COVID crisis, it is so important that we have also a little bit patience with each other, right? Because many people suddenly have to be on camera with video meetings, and not everyone is comfortable with this. And for some people, that really takes time to learn this, and to practice those skills. So sometimes people have their children in the background, or eating chips right to the microphone, or they accidentally flip the camera, or they have a messy room and they are not used to be on camera and having digital meetings. So we need to help them to learn this and to have a little bit patience for each other, and also to show empathy. Because as YAVUZ, as you said, we now in this crisis, some people really have lost friends, have lost family members to the virus, right? They have lost colleagues. Colleagues are in the hospital. Colleagues are sick, and they need to handle the work of their colleagues. And so people can be really scared too in a crisis. And so what we need to do is to show empathy and to make sure to stay involved with each other, stay connected. Just call your colleague from time to time, not just email, pick up the phone and just simply ask, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? Is there anything I can do to help you with? Because I think those human skills, the human elements, now that we are all digital, is now even more important to stay connected to each other. And that is really important to do for all of us. And sometimes when people are in a crisis, they can react differently. Some people react really good to a crisis. They can really stay focused. They can really do the work. But some people in a crisis, they get scared and they hide away. They do not know how to resume their work. So they can maybe react angry, towards you. They can send you an angry email, and then you get that email in your inbox and then you are shocked. Oh, what's this message? Why is that person angry with me? Always take into account that this is a crisis and it is difficult for people. So always try to be understanding. And what really helped me in my study as a mediator is that the behavior of other people, that we must not take that personally, because we all choose our reaction in a situation. If there's a crisis, we can choose how to react. And when some people react in a certain way, that is their behavior and that has nothing to do with you. So instead of taking it personally, really think, okay, this person is reacting in this way. How can I help that person? How can I help that person to be more calm And how can I help that person maybe in their work? Is there something I can do to help? And that is really, that is something that has really helped me in my communication with people and with the teams that I work with. And to summarize, I think as a leader, it is very important that you make sure you make a positive difference in your team. You know, you want as a leader to help transform your team into a positive, well-working team. And as a leader, you may not always be there in the team, but you have to think about, what do you want to be your legacy as a leader? Once you leave to a next project, what do you want them to think about? You know, do you want them to think about you in a good way as a leader that really helped their team? And then for the next project, they may call you again, you know, to need your help. But always make sure that you make a positive difference in your team. And set the right example is very important. Set clear plans, you know. And one huge key trait is integrity. Show integrity. That's really important, even when no one is watching, because people will remember you for this as an honest, trustworthy person that is pleasant to work with. That is really, really important. Also create a positive team spirit and try to go beyond expectations, you know. Take that little extra step to help someone, because you will be remembered for that. And as Leslie said, be the kind of leader that you wished you had.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. And there is one thing I must ask to you. Your suggestions are so important. And there is one thing that, what kind of rituals you are applying to be calm, to protect your inner peace, dear TITIA? I know that you are focusing our well-being, our health, and you are sharing many things about it, so that you may suggest us some rituals to be calm, to
Yes.
protect our inner peace.
Well, what I do, and that is something that just helps me, what I do when I really need to concentrate is sometimes in my ears, I put on relaxation music or concentration music, just from YouTube. You know, you can find it there. Then I put that in and then I listen to it, and that really helps me to focus if I need to finish something. And it also helps me to stay calm, you know. I also bought, like a couple of weeks ago, a little puppy with my children, because what I noticed when we are all working from home is that I am sitting at the desk. I have a video meeting, I have another video meeting, then I have another video meeting, and I have another video meeting. And then it is 5 p.m. and I need to cook dinner for my children, right? But what is really important is that we take time to take a break regularly. And now that I have a little puppy, I am obligated to go outside and have a walk with him. And then I take my children with me when they are out of school. And then together we take a walk in nature, because nature is really relaxing for me. And studies have shown that that really helps you to calm down and stay relaxed. And the third thing I do again is, you know, take the balance oil every day, because that also helps my brain function, and it also helps me to sleep better. I am more rested since I use this, and then I am more able to concentrate and to focus better.
So great, thank you. And dear Lorraine, do you have any question to ask? Because I am sure you want to talk with TITIA also.
You're muted.
I was muted. I'm sorry. As superwoman who are mother, entrepreneur, or having a full-time job during this time of coronavirus, how do you manage the balance between your professional life your family time and your I don't like the me time sense, like way of saying it, but the moment where you can be peaceful and recharge.
Yes. Well, actually, spending time with my children, that is something that really, because I love my children the most in the world, as many mothers do. And so spending time with them for me is also me time, because I enjoy that so much. And also being able to help other people. Some people see that as work, but I really love to help other people and to help them become a better leader, you know. And because I love it so much, that also gives me energy. So that is really giving me a boost. But like to recharge, that is actually being away from the camera, being away from work, going outside in nature and spending time with my children. Those are for me the moments to recharge. But as I said, sometimes you have a very busy day, you have non-stop video meetings. So also for me, that is a challenge to really make myself take those breaks and plan in those moments to go outside, step away from your laptop, you know, and really force yourself to do that because it's so important. So for one, then you can relax, you can recharge, but also your brain can then take a break from thinking. And then when you come back, you are then much more clear, and then you can start working again, and then you are much more productively too.
Yes.
Thank you. I think it's the first time that I hear, because I was asking this question to so many women to understand. It's the first time that I hear the time with my children is a fulfillment.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, no, I really love them, and I really love spending time with them, and that's my number one priority. Thank you, Lorraine.
Thank you.
So great.
Tishi, I have a quick question. This is Yavuz SELİM. I'm very curious about the most challenging mediation example that you may share with us as a mediator. I know you're a wonderful public speaker, but without revealing the identities, I understand confidentiality if needed. But can you give an example of the most challenging mediation for us to inspire from you and learn from you?
The most challenging, well, obviously all my clients were a big success, right? So no, I'm just kidding. So we all have challenges. I worked with a couple, and this was about divorce settlements. So then I worked in a couple, and this was some years ago, when they could not come to an agreement. So as a mediator, it is not your conflict, it is their conflict, and you help them to get that clear. You know, we go through the mediation cycle, where in the end we talk about the different options and solutions that are acceptable for both parties, right? Sure. And there was a couple where mediation actually stopped because there were no joint solutions made by them. Then I did not see them for 6 months, and I thought, okay, this is the end, you know, and maybe they have found another mediator, maybe they hired a lawyer, who knows? But then they came back to me, and in the end, then I was still able to help them to come through a solution. So, but then like that break from 6 months, that was a challenge because I really thought they had, went to court to solve their problem and then have a judge say what they needed to do, but they didn't do that. They just took time and let it be for a while, and then they came back to me. So sometimes time is what you need to, in the end, find a solution.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Very welcome.
And thank you, dear Tisha. If you have time, we will be glad if you will be with us during our session.
Yes, I will stay till the end.
Thank you. I appreciate you and all you are doing. You are special for me, you know this. Thank you for everything.
Likewise, Nesli. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And dear esteemed Raj Gupta, you are a great leader. You are author. You have many books. And I love your posts. You are a caring leader. We need leaders like you, especially for job seekers. They are so alone. Whatever we can encourage, whatever we say, job seekers have so desperate situation just now because there is a serious bottleneck, there is some turbulence. Many entrepreneurs also feel stuck. So, first of all, I would like to learn about you, your soul journey. What made you a great leader in HR? How you decided to choose this career to yourself? Would you like to share with us?
Certainly. I think you have been indeed very kind to me, Nestle. And I'm indeed privileged to be, part of this conference. And it was great listening to, YAVUZ, TITIA, and LORRAINE. So it is fantastic. Now, at times, what happens, destiny defines you rather than you define your destiny. So when I graduated, and I was told that I need to, if I need to continue my studies, I need to start working. And that's where I met one of the leaders. He said, Raj, where do you see yourself at the age of 40? And at that point in time, when you go for a job, you just want a job. I said, I have no idea. He said, take 2 days, come back and meet me on Monday and write about it. So when I was at home, so there is an Indian daily wherein an article was there, Evolution of HR. And way back in 1993, 94, HR used to be more of a personal management. Something fitted into my mind that HR person should able to attract, retain, and grow, and should know bit and pieces of each and every function, whether sales, marketing, commercial, supply chain, etc. So in that context, I defined, my career plan for where I need to be at 40. So I said, I need to complete Bachelor of Education. It's a teacher training. Then I said I should be postgraduate in English literature. I should learn one international language, and I should do, MBA in HR. And should be a vice president with a large multinational, roughly $1 billion at the age of 40. So that plan was, created. And I think I have achieved what I planned at the age of 34 itself. And that's where I thought of contributing to the larger industry. Because if you achieve those levels, what next? If you're an HR professional, you're not going to be the CEO of the company. So you give it back to society. And I contribute to larger fraternity and society by way of writing, which is more of my passion. Nice. So this is how, I grew up. When it comes to leadership, I think what has defined over a period of time my leadership mantra is to lift others to get lifted. It sounds very simple, but it's very powerful. And this is what I learned in my early days in GE, when one of the leader told me, when you are managing people, your job is to lift them, help them, and you will get automatically lifted. And since then, I think following that mantra, I have grown both in organizations that I've worked for and in the larger industry. Second, what I believe about leadership is Leadership is an art to get the things done that you want to get done because others want to do it. So creating that want in others so that they do it willingly is critical to success. So I follow these two, mantras on leadership, and that keeps me in a good stead. I hope it gives you some line of sight about my journey.
Yes, and I know you have high level of emotional intelligence. You develop empathy, you are acting with kindness to everybody. So, would you like to share your opinion, your thoughts with us? How HR leaders, recruiters, and also other leaders can develop empathy for job seekers and also their teams?
Right. I think when it comes to recruiter, my simple message is you were also a job applicant at some point in time. So never forget that. You
Yes.
do not need to do anything special for anybody. Just put yourself into their shoes, because all of us at some point in time was a job seeker. So if we do that, I think, empathy, understanding their perspective, understanding them before you are understood, it automatically happen, if you remember that. When it comes to HR leadership, I believe in, from a future perspective, HR is going to play three critical roles. And I say three golden C's of HR also. One of them is consultant, conscious keeper, and custodian. Now, empathy is something which is built in, because if you do not have human resources, then you have no business to be, an HR leader. So that is the way I look at it. Second, for HR leaders to develop themselves or to have seat on the CXOs or boardroom, it is important for them to develop, business acumen. So the way I say it, they should number one prioritize business acumen. That is their ability to understand global trends, know the language of business, P&L understanding, commercial savviness, pricing ability, etc. Number two, they should focus on change management ability. So their ability to take all their stakeholders along, leveraging Six Sigma methodologies, Deming principles, TQM, or whatever. And third comes their domain expertise. For example, for me, HR is a domain expertise. If I'm good in performance management, after 20 years of experience, there is nothing great about it. But if I'm as good as the CFO is, if not better, when it comes to finance, or if as good as, our process excellence leader is when it comes to process excellence, then people will stand up and take note. So this is my advice to, HR leaders, to focus on business acumen, change management ability, and domain expertise in that order. And for recruiters, a simple advice is to just put yourself into their shoes. You were also a job seeker once. Whatever went through in your mind, just keep reminding yourself life would be better. You don't need to do anything extra.
Yes. And you love writing. You have wonderful books. And as an author, which book is the most important and the one you love more than others?
I think, mothers cannot choose amongst their children which one is, a favorite, because everything has a context. Because as I said, when I achieved what I wanted to achieve as per the document at the age of 34, I decided to, contribute to the larger fraternity. And I said, how do I do that? So I said, I will do it through writing. I will do it through speaking assignments. And I will do, this through book writing. So every book has a context, but I wanted to write about HR. So the first book that I wrote is about walk through HR maze. I wanted to give, a handbook to our MBA students so that, they are industry ready when they join the corporate. So I have walked them through the entire value chain, right from talent acquisition to shared services, which is transactional spectrum of HR. And then we talk about engagement, organizational development, performance management, succession planning, etc. So in 120, 130 pages, I have tried to make them ready for the corporate world. So that's one I did. Then I wanted to do it for the middle management, basis my experience with the corporate. And I have, did this. I've done this Caterpillar to Catalyst, which talks about, certain design principles, if practiced in right earnestness, will make you your transition easier from a manager to a leader. And third, I did, in collaboration with a management consultant, a friend, Dr. Arun Sacha. And this is, we wanted to create our own HR models or, people models for growth. So we said, go and get Your Success is the name of the book, wherein we have, created a kaleidoscope of leadership models that shackles, unshackles the usual patterns. So these were the three, which is about the job. And then my daughter happens to be my editor. And she said, Dad, people don't want to, listen to, knowledge sharing only. You should write in a story format. And that's where, I started writing fiction. So my first fiction, is again related to HR area, which talks about LGBT, diversity and inclusion, sexual harassment at workplace, the corporate world, nuances, through a story of Kiara and Vihan. And I use these characters to share my, anecdotal day-to-day learning also. So Workplace Romance and Its Perils is my first fiction. And it has been received very well in the market. And it touches upon the corporate world, what goes there, and what is well, what is not well, through a beautiful story of a Kiara, who is a middle-class girl who make it big and become a vice president, and then undergoes multiplicity of challenges and what it means, for the society, for the parents, and the generation. So that was, one book. My second fiction, which I have done during this Corona's days in March, April, and I partnered with a young architect. This is about, a young girl who is not very clear about her sexual preferences and what it means for parents in conservative societies, what it means, for the people around them in the society, and what are the implications. So I have touched upon that through a beautiful story to arrive at, the preferences that this girl has. So it was a surreal experience. I think all books, when you write, are great. As an author, you love all of them. So difficult to choose, Nestle. I love all of them, and the one I must say that, so it would make my wife happy, which I did in collaboration with my wife, is a collection of poems and songs, or in Hindi we call it bhajans, that we have written together. So whatever you write with your wife is always the best. So right.
So great.
I would like to ask a question about what you said. Your job is listen and help them to your employee. Okay, you are listening with your heart, and you are trying to help your best. But what happens when they break your trust? It is right. So easy. You are giving your best to them, even you open all the companies to them, but you are getting disappointed. How you are handling this issue?
I think over a period of time, when I was operating out of UK, a couple of years back, one thing that I learned is unconscious bias, and all of us, we carry that, and since I had time, So I interface with roughly 25, 26 national, right from Romanian to, French to others, and understood some of those nuances. And I was no exception to unconscious bias. Now, when somebody comes to you, now I seek to understand before I am understood. So the moment I see it from their point of view, that disappointment doesn't come in. Empathy comes into play. Because if somebody, this is our feeling that somebody is breaking our trust. What we feel is our perspective. But if we go and look at, from their motivation, their context, I think, you figure out there is something behind, a reason behind the action which they have taken. So being in HR, I go through, multiple situations, and at times difficult one as well, wherein we have to let people go for doing XYZ stuff. Integrity is what, Tisha was touching upon. So, but it's difficult, but it's not a disappointment. It's our job to bring them up. So that's the way I look at it. If a junior is doing it, I say it's our job. If his manager is doing it, it is again our job to, help the manager become a better facilitator. So like I was talking to a young guy, and he said, I'm struggling because of my growth and all that, and I'm having this BP issue, blood pressure. And I said, at such a young age of, why are you thinking like that? And then you have a conversation. Your job is to manage their expectations, right? And then do it in their way, because this young generation is not going to listen to you, what you say. They are going to, do what you are doing. So they are going to follow your footsteps only if you are practicing that. So if you tell your children, do this, and if you are not doing it, they will never listen to you. This generation is very different, particularly in the Indian context, I can talk about, because an argumentative generation also. So they don't take it. Like in our time, my father will say anything, we will just say, okay. There's no two bits about it. But now today, children will ask why. And unless you explain it, they don't move. So we need to change ourselves. We need to adapt. That is my thinking, Yavuz.
Thank you so much.
I have a question. It's related to your answer that you just said. Thank you. It's just what I can see as an entrepreneur, or also my major is HR, is there's an evolution in our the members of our team. Is there's a loss of balance between serving and using, and taking. And it seems that sometimes they push the button a little bit too hard, and it's very difficult to, where is the moment when you put your foot down? So I have an example if you want. When a person has a critical skill, at the moment is really like coding in certain type of codes, for example, PHP, and he knows that he has this critical skill, and there's a scarcity of really good one on the market. And so he knows he can play that card. There's a leverage that is very important. Where is the moment when you say, okay, stop? Because there's a risk management. I don't know if I'm clear.
No, I'm clear about it, because every day I have to deal with the situation as such. I'm working for the last 25 years across a spectrum of organizations. So I've got it. It happens. So, it's a conditioning, it's a mindset conditioning. And if you would have heard Tisha talking about it, people leave their managers, and then not organizations. Now, best of my managers has not given me best of increments, right? But I would like to work with them even today. And I think that would be the case with, many of us or majority of us. For example, Lorraine, you have worked with corporate?
Yes, for years, for about like
Okay.
15 years.
15 years. So which is the one name that comes to your mind when I say who was your best boss?
My best boss. Wow, that is huge. Difficult answer.
No, just one, because somebody comes to mind.
I guess the best one is Mr. Altun. He's not really my boss, but
it's fine. It's fine. So you don't need to give me the name, but you did not like him because of X person being X person. You liked certain qualities.
Yeah.
What are the two to three things about that leader that you liked?
I think it's an harmony between strength, integrity, and generosity and compassion.
Right. So three of these, if you practice with same people that you are talking about, life would be a little more, better in my view.
Yes.
Okay. I hope I gave you the answer.
Yes, thank you very much.
Right. So 10 years down the line, when they look up, they should say, out of 15, 20 people I have worked, Lorraine was the best manager. She may not have given me best of increments or bonuses, but she is the one I remember. Like I remember Vineet Sharma, he did not give me any increment at all. But after, in 1998 till 2000, I worked with him. Hardly any increments, but he taught me, he has made me a better human being.
Yes.
And that is so critical today. He held my hand at some point in time when I was, struggling to speak at a platform. And so you need to figure it out. I am taking his name after, 22 years of working, because that skill came in. So take genuine and sincere interest in your people. If you take that, life would be, better, because you need to keep your employees' interest and organizational interest harmonized.
Absolutely. But don't you think that I'm reading a lot of publication about the best way to lead a company and people and in also in science, and it seems that the people reject at the moment a little bit of toughness, a little bit of strength, but it seems to me that through the different experimentation that I've read about, it's sometimes necessary. What do you think? Even though it's not in the zeitgeist, it seems like clear vision of a leader and also a little bit of,
No. So this is also I learned, because you evolve as a person. So when I was trying to integrate an organization, European organization as part of my project work, I told my leader, I said, use your power, tell them to do this. He said, use your persuasive ability to bring them on board. Now, this ability to be persuasive in getting, as I said, leadership is an art to get the things done, what you want to get done because others want to do it. Creating that fire in others is leadership. Now, you don't need that push. Once that camaraderie develops, that psychological contracting happens, even if you kick them, they will not mind it. Right? They'll know, Lorraine is doing for my benefit. Whatever she's saying, even if shouting at me, there is a reason, but she cares. But unless you develop that psychological contracting, you will not get their attention. So are you using them? or are you developing them to become future leaders? Is a question that we may like to reflect as a leader.
Absolutely.
Right. So sometimes people feel, I ask them, instead of asking, in future, some of the leaders, this question we should be asking, how many leaders you have contributed to the industry, or how many leaders you have grown. So that should be the question. Right. When people say D&I, diversity and inclusion, how many women we have helped to become leaders and get to the position of strength. So maybe I think I have some help.
Yes, thank you. And yes, we always should think that our team should be able to take our place anytime.
That's tough, because leaders operate from insecurities. Everybody is not secure in their positions. So they will use ways and means to, pull you down as well. But those are supervisors, those are managers. They are not leaders. Because leadership is by disposition and not position. And in this 21st century, democratization of leadership is happening. So, you may not have the formal authority, but you will be a social leader, because a lot of people will, follow you for what you do. Right. So there may not be a formal authority with Nestle, but 400,000 people trust her. Yeah. Right. So managers could feel anything, whosoever Nestle's manager is. But the fact of the matter is 400,000 people in some way or other trust her. Nothing can be, taken away from that. So for the manager also, it is important to harness that, understand those strengths and work on those rather than focusing on the, bottlenecks or weaknesses. So if you catch people doing right things, appreciate them, life is easy. If your eyes is always set on finding fault, then there would be problem, even if you give best of the ingredients.
Yeah. Raja, I have a quick question. Thank you very much for the inspirational talk. I'm really, really excited to meet you. My question is, because you have shared also several areas in terms of the workforce, what do you expect to be changed with the COVID-19, coming on us, and we're going through the different phases of COVID-19. How do you see the top trends that will change the workforce and the working relationship?
I think, Yavuz, in my view, I call it SMAC, which is Social Mobility Cloud Analytics, was in Business 4.0, Industry 4.0 was already shifting the business landscape for the last 3-4 years. Now what COVID has done, it has accelerated the change. And, technology or digital is no longer a luxury. It is must to have.
Yes, yes.
Right. So acceleration has happened. Now, 3 key trends that I see from, so your the way we approach the work at this point in time is shifting. So our workplaces and work dynamics are going through a mammoth shift. If you look at earlier, people will think working from home as a luxury, which some marquee organizations provide. But now it has become a necessity. Second, we went to office for few reasons like enhanced collaboration, engagement, camaraderie amongst workforce. Now, COVID has propelled you to remain distanced from each other. Now, the challenge in front of CHROs is to how to bring the same experiential learning or same experience through digital of camaraderie, engagement, and collaboration. So one is, workplace, the way we work is shifting. Second, workplaces will undergo a major shift, including their design. And there are questions being raised in the industry. Do we need offices at all for some kind of industries? Right. So
depending on the industry. Yeah.
Right. So you may not, for manufacturing industry, it would be tough, but for information technology industry, it would be easier comparatively. So that is one. Second trend, which I see is education industry is going to achieve what they could have achieved in the next 20 years, in just one and a half, 2 years. Teachers who are teaching in, schools never thought in life that they will be doing education through digital, particularly in, countries like India and other countries which are not that evolved. So developing world is undergoing a mammoth shift. Education, both for corporate as well as for schools, is shifting. So education, there is a mammoth shift in my view, and ed tech companies are going to be darling of the stock exchanges as we go along, which were already making inroads, but now you would see we are creating unicorn after unicorn when it comes to ed tech companies. Third major trend that I see is gig will take center stage. And this is advantage for people who are individual player, who are, small scale, because they could offer McKinsey services at Chinese price, right? Or Japanese qualities at Chinese price.
Wow.
So, right. So that's the challenge in front of global, leadership, political leadership, is to frame rules around it. So in the developed world, we have certain rules framed, but in developing world, government across developing world need to, work more on setting up those rules. So as I said, workplace and work structures are going to change. Education is going through a mammoth shift. EdTech will take a center stage, and gig will change the way we work.
I mean, when you said education, Raj, this is very important because many workplaces, major corporations in the United States or other areas, they don't care about diplomas anymore. I mean, they look at the hands-on experience and the actual skills they're putting out. So let's say this 3 days, which YAVUZ, ALTUN, Nestle, and your amazing team and yourself and every speaker here is contributing, maybe can be like a capstone project for a master's, but we are not giving that title in here, but we are getting the best experiences from yourself over the last 30 minutes. So how, as a corporation that you're working with, how are you going to balance an actual diploma from a Ivy League versus an actual experience, hands-on person who knows the stuff? How do you differentiate that in an online environment?
Yeah, corporations are no different. They reflect what happened in the ecosystem, what happens in the society, and that reflects in the workplaces as well. So that's the way I see it. So the same shift will also happen in the corporations. So if you look at it, the rapid pace with which things have grown technologically, it's massive in the last 20-30 years. So for this generation, who is a digital native born after 2000, they don't think like us. So in my view, from a corporation standpoint, it's my personal view, depth of pyramid is, is going to be there. So structures would be flat. Second, leaders will enjoy their authority or their say, not because of their position, because young people today care a shit about, whether you're a vice president or a director or a CEO, unless, you have that psychological contracting with them, they respect for you, who you are as a human being. And if it appeals, it's fine. If it does not, then they get out of the classroom also. Right? Because particularly in India, we will sit through the whole lecture, even if we are not liking it.
You have
right?
to, yeah.
Right. But these kids do not do that. They
Yes.
just close it. And I can see this with my kids, so those things are changing, and they will reflect in corporations also. Learning mechanism which will shift. I call it moose effect. So we was doing this MOOCs, which is massive online open engagements. Now people want short engagements. So massive open online short engagements. So for example, if you are sitting at the airport and you have shown somewhere your interest on leadership, so can I push a 2 minutes video for you to look at it? So I call it Netflixization of education industry will happen.
Nice.
So okay, so like Netflix, the moment you search something, it shows 2 more things to you that you may like to watch it. Similarly, Netflixization of education industry will also happen in my view, and they will have no choice but to get there.
Yeah.
But then there's the problem of binge watching, because Netflix also has a way to make sure you keep watching the entire series, not just one episode,
That's
which
what
can be
PUBG
used for the good, for education,
That's what PUBG has done. If you see, gaming industry worldwide is making the maximum money.
Yeah.
So at least, these kids are addicted to it, and addiction to anything is bad.
I agree.
So that for all of us, even, we are addicted to our mobiles. So we need to figure out, how do we make it moderate? And people have already started talking about, digital detox. Maybe some businesses will emerge around it.
I agree.
So that's the way life is.
Thank you, Raj. I
I
appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Thank you so much.
And I want to ask one more question to Raj, because you are a great lifelong learner. I know that you are joining some courses, some extra books, and you are always trying to do your best to learn something. What do you suggest to us, all of us? Because I know from you that there is no age to learn new things. How we can focus our personal development during our lifetimes? What makes you courageous? What is your passion about it that maybe you can encourage us also with your point of view?
I think when I was young, when I joined GE, so during my induction, Jack Welch popped out in a video and he said, be number 1 or number 2 in whatever you do, or don't be. I think that is somehow which has stuck to my head. And I said, I will apply that for my, MBA degree, because I was doing my MBA along with my job in GE. And I need to at least get a silver medal, if not the gold. And I did got that silver medal there. Now, this is all about your passion. So one is your profession, which brings food, on the table for you and your family. That is one wherein you don't have a choice, but you have to. You have to, adjust, align, and, manage. When it comes to your passion, you need to figure out and create certain design principle around it and go all hog on that. So the way I do it, if I look at in everybody's life, there are 4 parts: personal, professional, social, and spiritual. Yes. So some of these bigger philanthropists or big businessmen once were very high on, let's say, on their professional part. But today, if you look at people like Bill Gates, people like other industries, they're far more on social and spiritual, right? So all of us need to think of, particularly in this COVID context, how we are balancing our personal, professional, social, and spiritual. Because at some point in time, you know, a need would be felt. Some people realize about their spiritual when they turn, you know, 50, 60. Some people realize it, you know, very early. I see on LinkedIn, some of the young people are talking about health. They are talking about yoga. They are talking about spiritual stuff. It's amazing to see those young people. I don't recollect the name right now, but I'm amazed, you know, the kind of interest they are taking, and that passion is being developed as a profession also. So if you develop your profession, passion as a profession, it's nothing like it. So I keep, you know, as I said, lift others to get lifted. The moment you learn to be happy in other happiness, you know, life is easier. And second, what I do, you know, somebody is asking me why, you know, what keeps you happy or smiling. I say every day when you get up, you have a choice, you know, either to be happy or unhappy, you know, when you get up. So I make a choice to be happy. And maybe, you know, I'm a positive person, so that also helped. I hope I have answered your question, Nesli.
Yes, yes. Thank you. It was wonderful answer and so insightful words, in fact. Thank you for everything. And I need to tell a few things about three leaders. They can't be with us because of technical issues, health issues, I think. First of all, I have to share my gratitude to Marriott Ram because she doesn't have any internet connection right now. She's so sad that she can't join us. And she's a goodwill worker, first of all, and she wrote a wonderful book. It's the entrepreneur's ultimate guide to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a platform for networking, and our network is our net worth. Marriott encourages us how to be on LinkedIn and how to be a good entrepreneur and also professional to introduce ourselves, our skills, and how to network with people. That's why she is so sorry she can't join us because of technical challenges just now. And I wanted to say my gratitude to her because we joined with her some campaigns to rescue some lives, but we lost our friends. One of them was waiting heart donation. We lost him, and I know Marriott how much she worried. That's why I appreciate and I love Marriott so much. And also there is Ash Plaisted. I know Ash during a few years. I learned from him many things. He is a great philosopher, first of all, and he has wonderful Georgina Plaisted. They are wonderful sister and brother. They always encouraged me and many of us. That's why they are so special for our communities. We learn from each other many things, and they always encourage each one of us with their personalities, with their humanity sides, and also with their coaching and mentorship styles. My endless gratitude to Ash Plaisted also. He can't join us because their internet connection is under zero. He's so sad, but he can't join us. There is one more person, Brian Golot. He is making great efforts for job seekers. I know he lives in Canada, and Canada has so much snow just now. There are many challenges. We can't reach Brian. I hope Brian is in good condition because he always cares job seekers whoever reads him, but there must be a situation. That's why I want Brian Golo to reach me as soon as possible. I want to hear his voice so soon. My endless gratitude to those leaders, but they can't join us. I am so sorry for that. And dear TITIA, you waited us, you listened us, you encouraged us with your presence. You can share your feelings, your thoughts with us and with your words, because we have time. You can talk. Then Mr. Yavuz and Mr. Raj, maybe.
NESLIHAN, I would like to thank, there are 3 television channels, they are ready, waiting to ask questions to our guests. I would like to thank Mr. Yavuz from another channel. He's bringing our voice to all over Africa, like 900 millions, and also Pakistan 92 TV channel and Dünya TV channel. I would like to thank all of them to be here. Yes, NESLIHAN.
And yes, dear TITIA, we can listen to you, and dear Raj Gupta, and also LORRAINE can share some.
Thank you so much, Nesli. Again, I think this was a beautiful session, and I learned a lot from all of you. Raj, it was so interesting what you talked about, your thoughts and ideas on how HR and our society will shift. I think is very important for all of us to keep this in mind, because when society shifts, we all need to be prepared and we all need to adapt to it. So thank you for sharing that. I think this was really interesting to learn. And LORRAINE, how you talked about your program with the resumes, I think was really interesting. Also a wonderful innovation, a wonderful project together with Mr. Yavuz ALTUN, which we can all benefit from. When the world goes more digital, this is a wonderful way to turn your resume into a digital video. And I think that is a wonderful opportunity. So I'm sorry, some technical difficulties. That was a really good opportunity to learn from all of you. So I feel very blessed to be here and learn from all of you. And I think resuming all of it, what we all need to do in this difficult time is to stay communicating with each other, keep communicating, but also keep supporting each other, keep helping each other, because it's a difficult time. It has challenges, but it also has opportunities. And we need to help each other through this time in the best way we can with the tools that we have. So, yes.
Thank you. And dear Raj Gupta, would you like to tell something?
I think I have thoroughly enjoyed listening to, Tisha, LORRAINE, Yavuz, and some question that has come, at me. So I thoroughly enjoyed this interaction, and it's amazing to get to know. Tisha is one that I keep reading about. We are connected almost for a year, and now we are, you have brought us together. At least we are e-meeting with each other through a video. If there is any question that I can answer, I would be happy to answer if any one of you have any question.
Yes, and LORRAINE?
I would like to ask 2 questions to Raj. What is your advice for HR managers for next several years? Because everything is changing so fast, and what you have seen in the future, what will be happen in front of us?
So my first advice is stop acting as a jerk. You know, and it is hardly difficult to manage our own lives, our kids, our family. So instead of manager, be a facilitator. You know, so treat yourself as a senior who have, you know, trodden the road that these young guys are treading now. So be a, you know, I take this example of a college student. You are in a final year, and then you have to guide your first year, second year student. You know, so act like a senior facilitator, not as a manager. You know, so your job is not to take work out of them. Your job is to enhance their capability, help them grow into leaders. So if you go from that perspective, life would be very, very easier with these digital natives who are joining the workforce. And if you don't, and if you think you are a supervisor or a manager, they should listen to you, they will not listen to you. You know, people like us may listen, but they are not going to listen. They will say, just, you know, back off. I don't want to work with you guys. So stop being a jerk, number one, if you are. Second, be a facilitator and not a manager. So when I say facilitator, the coaching comes into that. Coaching manager is what we call it. I hope I have answered.
Because everything is changing so fast. Just in a second, we are facing different issues. If you don't respond to change, you will be out of game. Like Nokia, like Ericsson, Blockbusters, Sears, Kmart, the Swiss watch industries. So we need to respond to change, but as a person or as an organization, it is not easy to respond to this change. Because sometimes, you are right, we think we are the best, we know the best because of our ego and our circumstances, what we created. But your advice is great. Like from senior from zero, then you can start to think from zero. If you start to think from zero, you can create and you can adopt change much more easily. Thank you so much for your response.
I will just add to it. I don't think we as a manager needs to make any effort to change, because these people are going to kick us so hard, or hit us so hard. These digital natives, if we don't change, we will not be into our jobs. That is where, I was touching upon this book, because in my time and in the society that I live in, we do not talk about, when I was young, about LGBT issues so openly. But for this young generation, it is very common. And for us to work with them closely, and that's why I chose one of this young girl as my collaborator for Intriguing Quest of Love, the book that I have written about a middle-class girl who was not very clear about her sexual preferences and undergoes multiplicity of relationships. So it's easy to work with them. So make sure that to stay ahead of them, the digital native, you need to work, twice than what they need to do. So if you keep that in mind, be a coaching manager, life would be easy. Change is something which will happen. You don't have a choice. You would be, if you do not adapt to it, you will be kicked out. Right? As an organization, as a manager, or as an entrepreneur. So you need to keep pace with the change. And that's where I said business acumen is critical. Business acumen is nothing but your ability to anticipate global trends. And to understand global trends, you need to develop understanding of global politics and global economics, which unfortunately now at crossroads. We are moving from globalization to localization.
Yes, you are right.
Great.
Thank you for everything. And dear Lorraine, would you like to say before closing the session? Would you like to talk? Yes.
Just thank you very much. It was very inspiring and insightful, and I'm looking forward to read Mr. Gupta books about the different aspects of HR, and also to try omega-3.
Thank you so much.
My endless gratitude to all of you. Thank you. And looking forward our next events together for more interaction, for more serving to others, to be together, to catch synergy, to support each other. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much for all the great volunteer speakers.
Thank you so much, Nesli. Really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you so much. It was a great honor.
And now I think I know Tisha's secret of her infectious energy. So,
thank you so much.
Great.
And we are closing this session. My endless gratitude to all our tutors, and I am so sorry for some friends they couldn't join us, but I am endless grateful for TITIA and GUPTA. Thank you for everything you do to us. See you again in other sessions, other events also.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yavuz, Nesli.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.